Hi everyone. So fuck this country very much and everything that is happening right now with this unnecessary and fucked up war against Iran. And however you feel about this situation and you're not a sociopath or a psychopath or a malignant narcissist, I feel it too, and I just am choosing not to spend this episode complaining and griping about the fucking evil. So I'm just going to not talk about that today, but I definitely feel whatever the fuck you're feeling about this. This is just disgusting. But I got on here to give a little update on my medication decreasing, withdrawal, whatever you want to call it. So in case this is your first episode, I'm coming up at about 4 months of decreasing myself off of Wellbutrin and Prozac, and I am not sharing any of this to, convince you to do the same with your own medications. I'm just sharing this is how it makes me feel, in case anybody out there, Um, so coming up on month 4, and I'm trying to stretch this. I've got like a 6-month plan, so I have enough like meds to eke me out till about 5 to 6 months because I don't want to just go cold turkey off of this stuff. I've been on it for a decade, you know. And so the first few months I didn't really notice anything, but now like I'm starting to receive feedback from other people, da 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 da. That's what I like to do to interrupt my brain and mouth issue. My wife is providing me with feedback, and I'm like, oh, this is very helpful, thank you very much. So in case anybody's thinking of doing no, I'm not going to go down that route, because remember, I'm telling you, don't do this. But this is what's happening with my situation with this. My wife goes, this was just like, I don't know, not even an hour ago, she was like, she came over here to visit after work because she's staying next door at Janice's to watch the dog. And she came over to make some food and for us to hang out. And um, her sister, the niece's mother, the one that I talked about on here before, they all lost their family dog, which is very sad. And it's the only animal those girls have ever known. Like, they grew up with this dog, and the dog, they had to put him down last weekend because it's just, oh, it was time. It was time for him to go. He was suffering. And it was like obviously sad, and my wife's sister did worse with the feelings regarding this issue than the girls did, because the girls have had months and months and months to prepare for this because they knew that it was coming. And so anyways, so her sister sends her a text and says, we just got Charlie's ashes today, and um da 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 da. Can you guys check on the girls later? And as soon as Alicia read that part of the text to me, um, I just lost my shit. I just had this like, it was like, it was an outburst. I didn't know it was coming. I was just like, what did I say? I was like, how about she be a fucking mother? Is what I just like came out with, was what my brain said was a good idea, to just kind of like, it was like all of a sudden I just felt rage. I am not liking this, we keep like crossing paths, me and Rage, and I'm like, Rage, I dealt with you for a long time, decades. I don't need you anymore. Why do you keep coming around? And Rage is like, catch me if you can. But anyways, so um and then I was just instantly irritated, because I was like, check on the girls later means me, not Alicia, because the girls usually prefer talking to me. No offense to my wife. But it's just like, will you guys check on the girls means, will Ange do it? Even though, like, I know that's not what she meant. This is just how my brain interpreted it, because I felt like an asshole. Like, I felt like I wanted to be an asshole or think like an asshole. I don't know. And so yeah, that was a bit, that just came out of nowhere, Boom, just kind of like sideswiped my wife. Like, whoa, where did that come from? And yesterday, Maybe this is classified as an outburst. I'll have to check with her later because I just thought about this, but I had a bit of an issue yesterday. Now, you decide for yourself. Was this like a justified reaction, or was this potentially the result of having some outbursts because of withdrawing from my or with is it withdrawing? Decreasing my medication, what the fuck ever. So yesterday, right? It's like a whole thing for me. And it's very serious. Very, very serious. Pull up a seat. Um, maybe put this on pause and go grab yourself like a coffee or something because this is some serious stuff I'm about to share with you. Okay? So it's about ham and potatoes. It's not serious. But it was to me yesterday. So my wife decided to not go to work yesterday and she decided to stay home instead, which meant because she's living at Janice's house until next to Monday. And I was gonna go like, Mondays are my shopping day, like, when because, I have not done delivery services in so long because everything's expensive and I canceled all my subscriptions, and so Mondays are when I venture out to go to stores and or I just go pick up groceries I already scheduled online because I don't wanna go into the store. So that's what I do on Mondays. So I told my wife where I was going, and she was like, "Can you pick up a bag of russet potatoes?" Potato. I don't know why I said it like that. Potato. Um, by the way, quick tangent. If anybody has been following my episodes like for a long time, obviously, thank you very much. And also, I really do need information. Like, this is a serious request. If you've noticed any differences in the last however many episodes since, let's say, November. Well, let's go December. Ever since December, and it's now March. Do my episodes sound any different than before? Is it obvious that I'm withdrawing from medication? Really need to know. I need to know this information. Um but anyways, so she asks for me to pick up a bag of russet potatoes. And my wife has an issue when she gets certain kinds of food. Potatoes are one of them. She'll want mashed potatoes, right? She'll get this whole bag and then like maybe use a handful of them and then like not touch the rest. And they grow those fucking eyeballs and they're disgusting. I don't want to touch them. And then they make the potatoes soft and squishy if you don't do anything with it. And then some people are like, "Oh, the potatoes are still good. Just cut off the eye." I don't No. No, thank you. If I Have you seen how big some of those can get growing out of the side of the fucking potato? I'm not going to eat you. I don't want that potato. But anyways, she does this all the fucking time and I leave her notes like throw the potatoes out like I'm trying to instill some sort of potato responsibility. I don't know, it's never worked. And she won't do it. She won't do it. She won't do it. And I have to throw these fucking potatoes out. So I just threw ugly ass eyeball potatoes into the trash the very next day, which was yesterday. She goes, "Pick me up a bag of russet potatoes." And she didn't even know that I had, maybe she did. I don't remember if she knew I threw them out or not. And so I just politely pointed out, "Hey there, are you planning on using all these potatoes?" Because I don't know where you guys live, but like where I live, I have not seen any tiny ass bags of potato. Oh wait, you know what? I think I could just go to Wegmans and get like some in a bag, right? I think you can just pick them out from a bin. Who the fuck knows? I don't shop. I don't know these things. So I just assume you can only buy potatoes in a bag, but I'm probably wrong. So anyways, this is how my brain works. So I thought that the only way to buy potatoes was to buy 20 of them in the fucking bag. And I'm like, why does anybody want 20 potatoes if you don't have a family of 8? Like, why can't I have 2 potatoes and that's it? But, what I just said about I'm not I can't say uh I'm not very good at shopping for groceries, okay? So anyways, she's like, "I know, but just get them anyway." And I'm like, "You better fucking use these potatoes." Because I don't like wasting food either. But then I just was like, "Look, the real issue is I keep getting these bags of potatoes and they're heavy. Even if they're in a bag, I have to carry that bag up the stairs into the house. And it ends up being that you only use like a few of those potatoes. And so I carried all that up for nothing. And like, it's really strenuous to have to use my muscles like that when I don't need to. And like, my mind really just went there because, yes, like it goes down to that. Like, I don't like carrying bags of potatoes. So now that we figured out what's really going on, is it because she's wasting food? Is it, this has got to sound like I am winding off my meds because my meds because I'm talking about potatoes. But anyways, so I'm like, okay. And so we've had this ham steak in the fridge that she's had there for a couple weeks that she was supposed to make and hasn't. And I don't know how to make a ham steak. I do now, but I didn't then. And so she asked for the potatoes, and I was like, oh, so are we going to have like ham and potatoes then to eat for dinner? And she's like, yeah, I can make that. Now, when you hear that, doesn't it sound like it's gonna be that night you're having ham and potatoes when she says it like that? And you ask it like that? That's how I interpreted it, that that was gonna be what's for dinner tonight. So the rest of my day, and I was up early, like this was early in the morning. So I had like an entire day to like figure out how I was gonna have the best appetite for ham and potatoes. So I had 5 French toast sticks, which is a minute and 30 seconds in the microwave. And I was like, that is just enough to make it so that like I can quell this nausea from not eating anything and preserve my appetite for the most delicious homemade mashed potatoes and ham steak that she's going to be making later. Okay. So like, because like I said, I've said this before, like I could eat an apple and like I'm done for 6 hours. Like that apple will fill me up. So like my appetite is weird. So all day I'm planning on these ham and potatoes, and here comes like 5:30. She comes over for a visit, and I'm thinking, oh, dinner time. Yeah, I'm hungry. So I'm back in my room and I'm working on stuff, and she comes back here and she just plops down. She starts talking about whatever, and she doesn't look like in any hurry to get up and go make dinner. And then it looked like she was actually gonna leave, and I was like, aren't we gonna eat? Are we gonna eat dinner? Like, aren't we gonna? I thought you were making ham and potatoes. And she goes, yeah, well, I can make that, sure. Excuse me? You said you would. So there was a misunderstanding. She didn't know that I meant tonight. And I'm like, so you needed to hear the word tonight for you to figure out that I was talking about dinner for tonight? Like, this isn't conversation. Like, you ever like you're married to somebody for so many years and you think that you have normal conversations and then you go have another one of those normal conversations and they're weird and like you don't hear anything that's being said and it's just like in complete misunderstanding. And so like I guess you could have called it an outburst, but like I couldn't help how I felt in that moment. I was like, "Wait, what?" I was surprised. I was thrown for a loop. I was like, "You said we were having a ham and potatoes for dinner." And now I feel like I'm kind of like strong arming you into like making me food. And so anyways, she made it. But I was serious. I was like, wait a minute, hold on. This has got to be the meds, right? God, I was so serious and I was getting so upset. Yeah, this has to be because of the medication. Whatever. I figured that out for myself just now. Okay. But I don't know. I think you understand too that if you're planning on a specific dinner or something. Oh, shit. This sounds like that Jan story I told. Maybe you didn't hear it. Anyways, so today, before Alicia left to go back next door, she's like, "Hey, um, when you said that thing about like shell, like when I had, she called it an outburst, and I'm not going to argue with her because that's what I would describe it as too. It just came out of nowhere. It burst out of my mouth and my brain, so it was an outburst." She said that her fists balled up a little bit, like she was kind of triggered in a way because we try not to trigger each other's trauma, but it happens. And so instead of just like not saying anything, she decided that she was going to just like provide me with information and be like, I've noticed that since you've been decreasing off of your meds, um, you've had more outbursty kind of things happen. And I was like, thank you for this information because now that I think about it, you're right. And I do need this information because I need to rein it in and figure out, okay, like what do I need to focus on and like be more mindful of and like get better at now that I'm getting off of these meds. And it turns out I'm feeling my emotions so much more viscerally than I thought that I ever could. I forgot that meds kind of like numb a bunch of that. And then I forget that like you're on these meds for so long, they're just like part of you and like you can't like you guys, oh my God, can I feel feelings way more than I've ever been able to feel them or that I can recall ever having felt them. Joy is wonderful. Like, oh my gosh, I've been so happy like different times, like maybe more than usual. And like when I feel joy lately, it's like, oh, this is the best I've ever felt in my entire life. And then like I feel annoyance or irritation or frustration and like I seem to bypass that and like I feel rage. So that's an interesting kind of thing to be like observant of. Um but yeah, I appreciated the way that she communicated her observations to me. Because it doesn't take much for me to like get defensive like anybody. Like who doesn't get defensive when their shit's being called out, you know? But I was ready to hear it. I was like, thank you, because I don't want to be like that. And I actually wasn't aware of that because the withdrawal that I'm experiencing feels like the flu. Because I was looking this up earlier and I was like, why do I feel like I have the flu when I know I don't? Like, I know what my body feels like when it's actually sick. And it's not actually sick, but it's almost like acting as if it is or pretending as if it is. I've had like a sore throat. I've had like these weird muscle aches. Just any muscle, like a toe muscle. Like, what the fuck? When did that start hurting? And some headaches, some really, really shitty sleep. I'm getting like maybe 3 hours and then I'm up for like 15 and then maybe I get like a couple of more and it's never consistent. So like my shitty sleep got even shittier if that was possible. Um, so of course that's going to affect like my mood and stuff like that. So I think I have to definitely drink more water because I haven't been drinking as much as I really should be. And I need to be more mindful of how I'm feeling and try to process what I can before it leaves my mouth and my body. So, anyways, one of the rare times in my life where somebody can provide me information about myself that doesn't paint me in a good light and I can take it. Boy, have I grown. I'm just going to grab that little thread of positivity and go with it. So yeah, it kind of feels like the flu, but I haven't had the flu in many, many years. I don't even remember what that feels like. And my dry throat is like sometimes it's like sore, but like sometimes not. And that's even with having drunk a lot of water. So it's really interesting to me how like the body responds to, and it's not just the mind, it's the body. The mind and the body are connected, they're one. And it all responds. I'm finding out to not having medication in the body that it's been used to having for 10 years. Um, so I think I don't feel the urge to, oh my God, let me get back on these meds because I don't really want to. I'm just going to be more aware if I can be of uh how I'm dealing with like certain feelings or whatever. So I hope that, I don't know. Is this helpful? I hope so. And I'm open to feedback too. Like I like to know about myself in a non-narcissistic way because it's just information, you know? Who doesn't like information about themselves that can help them become a better human and understand more of what they're experiencing? So that's all I have to say for today. And thank you very much for listening. And while my mouth is still working and I haven't quite hit the 20-minute mark, um, I, oh, I'm starting to seize up again. It is anxiety, guys. It is anxiety about, I'm clicking. Yes, this, you hear right. I'm clicking. I have anxiety about like advertising for myself. So let me just pull something up so I can refer to it. Okay. I just pulled up a post to look down at some links because like my mind is blank right now. So like my wife and I did this book. Um it's called, let me just bring it up because I forgot. It's called Welcome to Yourself: Words for the Late Discovered Autistic Adult. It's just oh no, I'm not good at like talking off the cuff. books. Okay, so like, no, no, I was doing so good this whole episode, and now it comes to talking about myself and trying to promote myself, and like I feel anxiety. Oh, I have 4 reviews. Hey, who left a review? Thank you. Sorry guys, that was embarrassing. I didn't mean to do that just now. That's so nice. So it's on Amazon. I know. Um, Eventually I'm going to be selling it other places. I'm just, well, life is busy right now. So on Substack, I write these notes daily. I try to post like things that will make you feel maybe a little bit better than you did like 5 seconds earlier. And so I compiled all of them. I put them in a book. My wife did doodles for all of them. And the feedback that I'm getting is just a nice reminder of your value and your worth as a person, and that people feel seen. So it worked. And I'm very grateful for that. So that's over on Amazon if you would like to give that a gander. I also have a course. Bring that up. It's called Adult Autism 101, the ultimate guide for newly identified adults. Dun dun dun. It's only 50 smackaroos. It's a big course. I've just revamped the whole thing. I should probably have led with that, but um I have updated. I'm almost done. I've got like a few modules left, but it's good to go. Like, because it's going to take a while before you even get to the end if you go in order. And I went through every single module that I have, and I updated it with better information. I rewrote some of it, so it's not going to match the audio, but it's not going to be different in messaging and information from the audio. Like, not that different. And there are 30, I call them mind munchies because module is a boring word. Yep, there's 30. And there's stuff about like this is just the homework is to learn about yourself, learn about autism, learn about autistic terms. I have like a whole thing about like the autistic lexicon. There's like 30, 25, 30 terms in there. Like POTS and hyperlexia and proprioception and synesthesia. There's stuff about myths and dispelling them. There's stuff about like surviving the workplace. I have mind munchies for late identified men, late identified women, and non-binary people. Stuff about self-advocacy and empowerment, autism across different cultures, because I think how fascinating, to learn about like how people from different cultures experience autism. So, and I have it at $50 because I figured out that my initial price of 200 something was like wackadoo, and I'm happy with 50 because especially this day and age, like especially like in this country, like America, things are so expensive, and I don't want you to have to pay like an entire arm or leg just to learn some shit about yourself. So I did my very best to grab all of the information I could find, pack it into a course so that it would save you some research. Um, so there's that. And that's all I have to say for today. Come find me on LinkedIn, Reddit, Quora, blah, 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 blah. Thank you very much for listening. And if there's anybody out there that's currently going through the withdrawal process or the decreasing process of medication on your own, or you can provide me any kind feedback about like my how I sound like or whatever, I really would appreciate that. And thank you very much for listening. And goodbye.